In this tutorial, we shall use IPv4 configurator to send data between a server and a client in a TCP/IP network via an Ethernet link. In order to create a new project, go to Omnet++, File, New Omnet++ Project. Give your project a name. Press Next and then select Empty Project with SRC and Simulations folder. And then click Next, and then at the end press Finish. In the Project Explorer, right-click on your project folder and select Properties. In the pop-up window, go to Project References and tick INET4. This will enable the INET library files in your project. Apply and close. Now, head to the Simulations folder and open the package.ned network file. In this file, we shall build our network. Here, you have the option to either write code or do a graphical implementation. In order to start with INET, we shall use both graphical implementation along with source code. So, go to the Design tab in your package.ned file. The first step would be to create a network. On the right side, there are different types of modules and submodules available. Under Types, there is an option called Network. Click on it and then come to the network and click again. We can see here that a network is created. So, if you go to the Source tab, you can see that a network function has been created. We shall rename it as ETHNET, Ethnet. Now we will include server and client. For both, we shall be using standard host submodule. We shall rename them as server and client. Now, in order to connect them with each other, we shall use an Ethernet link with 100 MB per second transfer capability. In the palette available on the right side, go to Connection. Expand the toggle list and select ETH100M. Once selected, click on the server and then on the client. Then you shall be presented with two options. Select the first option, Ether Frame Connection. We have to add an IP address configurator which is responsible for assigning the two devices in our network with IP addresses. For this, look for the IPv4 network configurator in the submodule. Make sure you select the right configurator. Once found, select it and place it in your network. Make sure you rename this submodule as configurator. Any other name will throw you an error. Our network is now established. When we go to the Source tab, we can see that the source code has now been automatically created. Here, we need to make a minor change with the connection. We remove the 0 and replace it with ++. As Omnet++ thinks the link is subscripted, but it is not, and we replace it with an incremental type. In order to be able to run our simulation, we need to configure our omnetpp.ini file, which defines which network to run with what conditions. In the Form tab of the omnetpp.ini file and under the General Configuration, we need to mention the name of the network to simulate. So here, type the name of your network which you had mentioned in the network file. Next, the time duration of your simulation. We shall select 10 seconds. Now, if you go to the Source tab, you can see that the code has been updated for network and simulation time. We will now configure the client submodule. We shall mention the number of applications, the application type, that is TCP session in our case, destination address, port number, followed by how many bytes of data has to be sent. The server will receive the data and then depending on the application type, it shall either send the data back to the client or just receive the data and discard it. Here we are using the TCP Echo app in order to send the data back to the client. If you want, you can try your simulation with TCP Sync app. And then we need to mention the port number, which is the same as mentioned for the client side. Now let's run our simulation. Save both the omnetpp.ini and package.net file. Once done, right-click on the project in the Project Explorer and select Build Project. Once the build is finished, right-click on the omnetpp.ini file and select Run as omnetpp simulation. Now, you might be prompted to switch to release configuration. Select Yes. A new window with the network will open in order to run the simulation. Select Run with full animation. You can alter the playback speed of the simulation as per your choice. We can see that the data is exchanging between the two devices in our network. At the end of the simulation, we can see that the amount of data received by the client. You can further explore the results in the simulation folder. The source code for this project is available in the link mentioned in the description below.